Hi guys, Martin here, Man City Fan TV, and welcome to our latest edition of the Friday Night Social. So, as you can see, we have got some guests with us today. We have some of our regular reprobates joining us. Well, two of them are reprobates anyway. Carl isn't. I'll let the other two. Great. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, thanks, pal.
Good. Alan, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Early morning here, but all good.
Sun shining?
Not yet. It's still dark outside because obviously we woke up at 6 a.m. this morning. But it's supposed to be a good forecast, so maybe some golf later on.
Nice. Good man. Carl, how's Washington, buddy?
It's like Manchester here. Raining, grey. It's liquid rain today, or liquid sunshine today.
Manchester is boiling. It is not raining.
That's a miracle.
It was 30 odd degrees today in Manchester.
Oh,
and I'm in lockdown, so I'm not going anywhere in the sunshine.
How is quarantine going for you, Martin?
It's not bad. Can't complain. But what more can you do? I tell you what I do need to do. Just bear with me a moment. I have forgot. Like I say, guys, this is all brand new to me, so I'm still learning as we're going along. But I need to make sure we've got that backer on. Right. So let's get into some hellos, because as you can tell, we are live. So Sean Fogarty's on. Hello, buddy. Frosty Nut is on. Hello, everyone. Love that name. Absolutely love that name, I've got to admit. Shedders is on, regular contributor on the channel. Hi all, good evening. Ruby Toblunder is on. Hi all. Mingy Wong, good evening, lads. Manchester City for Life says evening. Iona Beats says evening as well. And let's see who else is on. Wow, this is posh. Yeah, told you, getting bigger and better here on Man City Fan TV. We've now got a countdown clock to count us in when we're live. Carl Blundell is on. All right, lads. All right, lads, and Martin there.
Hi.
That wasn't trying to be a purposeful scout. Really wasn't. Really wasn't. Albino Man News, I can't even pronounce that, says hello from South Africa, so I do apologise if I've totally butchered that name. Leonard's asking where is Andy. Andy's having an evening off. He's had some family business he's got to take care of, but he will be back with us soon. Ray Fernley says evening, lads. I rang up Takeaway last night, said dear delivery. Oh, Bubble, no patience coming out with the old jokes. You know, you do lamb, chicken, and fish. Right. So, as you can see, part one this evening, we're going to be talking about the transfers. Now, as you can see, there is a lot going on with transfers at the moment. City have agreed a fee, like I said yesterday, with Nathan Aki at Bournemouth, and they've also agreed a fee for Ferran Torres at Valencia. So, what I'm going to do is, Chris has just gone in and out there a little bit because he has. You see, this is how you can tell we're live. We do have technical difficulties now and again with one or two people. Right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go around. We are going to discuss transfers going forward, who City should buy, should sell, things like that, because we've been linked with a lot of people. Sorry, I'm just double checking something. I'll bring Chris back in. Are we sorted now, mate?
I think so. My internet dropped out, mate.
So, what we're going to do is I'm going to go round. I'm going to ask you all about Nathan Aki to begin with, then Ferran Torres. And then there was a little rumour today that Napoli are now asking for 90 million euros for Koulibaly. So,
surprise.
Yeah, well, I did say yesterday on the live stream that De Laurentiis is a nightmare. He's a nightmare to contend with. So let's go. Carl, Nathan Aki, what do you think, buddy?
I think it's a good buy. I think it's a good deal. You get a player who's made 0 errors in 117 games, who played in a relegation battle, who knows how to fight, who can play out from the back, who's left-footed, who can play left back. What do you have to lose? Bring him on. I'd rather have him with us and have him at Liverpool or Manchester United or Chelsea. Bring him on. Laporte goes down or is injured, we have a replacement. Mendy can't play, we have a replacement. He can even play defensive midfield. So international, Dutch international, battle-hardened, bring him on. It's a good buy for me.
Well, let's go on. Alan, what do you think about Nathan Ake before I give you my thoughts on it?
Well, I think he'll do the job. He's going to go in as a backup for Laporte, but don't forget he can also play fullback. He's played there before for Bournemouth at left fullback, and he's also played midfield as well. So I think it's a good buy. 40 million. I reckon he'll play quite a few games at left back. I think that'll be one of the solutions that Pep's thought of as far as being a fullback concerned. Because he has played at least 11 games this season as left fullback for Bournemouth. So I think it's a very good buy because he can play in 3 positions.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a stat yesterday when I was reading up on it. Apparently, out of 61 errors that Bournemouth have done this season, he's only done one of them leading to a goal or a goal opportunity, shall we say. So that's not bad. That's brilliant. Now 61 errors, he's only made 1 error.
Yeah,
that just tells you his quality. My only issue is 25 years old. He's going to want first team football. Is he going to get it at Manchester City?
Well, he's on 40 grand a week at Bournemouth, around about. He's going to get a lot more. He's going to get a lot more at Man City. So, with all due respect, if someone's going to pay you double that, which he probably will do at City, I don't think he's going to be whinging too much. Do you?
Well, and Alan, he's going to get game time. He's going to get game time.
I think he'll get a lot of game time.
And the other side, he's going to learn from Pep Guardiola. Every Dutch international, Johan Cruyff, Pep Guardiola, they all want to learn from him. If I were him, I would snap it off quickly and get in.
I think he'll play a lot of games because he'll end up playing quite a few left fullback games. And playing there because Mendy won't play every game.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think?
I think he's a bit pricey at 40 million, if you ask me. But I think he's a good utility defender, so he could do us proud, really. I don't expect Mendy to play 38 Premier League games. I'm sure he'd be better left back than Zinchenko. So I think he is a good buy. I just think we're probably playing 10 million more than we should, but maybe that's the only way to get him without encouraging the likes of Chelsea to come back in for him or United or something like that. So I'm not. I think it is a good buy, but a bit pricey.
Well, don't you think, Chris, though, that because he's played left fullback and he's played in midfield, at defensive midfield, he'd be used to playing that inverted fullback role when what Pep likes.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the thinking.
Yeah,
the thinking behind it.
Whenever I've seen Ake at the Etihad, he's played centre half. So, and I've always thought he's played really well. I thought he's one of the better players on the pitch. But I've never seen him as a left back marauding up and down the touchline. So that'll be interesting to see whether he can fill in like the Mendy shoes. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see.
Sorry, I'm just going to bring up some comments. Seeing as we are live and we've got 50 odd people at the moment. So as you can see, Jade Fred Stunner. Sorry, I pressed that one by accident.
Yeah, of course you did.
Frosty says, do not believe Ferran can replace a prodigy in signing. We'll come to that a little bit later on. Frosty Nuts, part of the Chris fan club. Hello, Chris. Hiya, Chris, you've got a fan, mate. Let's go in. There was a lot of comments about Naona Beat says great buy is Ake, but Pardew Oaks says too much money. Frosty Nut says too much money. Noah Pearson, Ake is about 20 million in my books. Pardew says we need to be buying the best, not second best, and Aki is second best. Frosty Nuts is overpriced, even for a defender that has made 0 errors, to be honest. But then we've got Rubito Blondie says Aki is a pet player through and through, a great natural instinct to pass forward for a quick attack, good in the air and strong, and also 25 years old. Pep will use him wisely in positioning terms. So, as you can see, it's a bit of a mixed bag for Ake. I don't think anybody's questioning Ake's ability. I think it's the fee. But the only thing I would say on that, it's not our money. It's not your money. It's the club's money. So it doesn't matter to me what we spend. Because the only thing it's going to do is wind everybody up. That's all it's going to do. And I don't mind that.
So,
and Shedders, sorry, Cam's going to bring in the super chat. Shedders has given us £5. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, Aki is an excellent signing. Keep up the sterling work, guys. I like the way you did that little city innuendo there from Raheem Sterling. Thank you, Shedders. Excellent. Carl, what was you going to say, brother?
yeah, I do want to go to Alan's point, and I want to reinforce that point. I mean, if Ake can play left back, which he's played at both Bournemouth and Watford, you paid 40 million for a centre back, and you have cover for left back, right? That's a fantastic investment. If you go buy a backup left back now, how much is it going to cost you? 30, 35, 40? And you get 2 for 1? It's a no-brainer. From a business perspective, it's a no-brainer. It makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
And talking about the fee, I'll just say one thing as well. If someone said to you, we'll get 2 players for £60 million, or just over £60 million in this transfer window and get 2 quality players, what would you say? You take it all day long. And if we get Torres and Aki, we've got them for just over 60 million.
Yeah. And don't forget, Martin, there's still a centre back that's still going to come in. This is not the final centre back.
I know.
I will talk about that.
That's my issue with Aki a little bit at the moment. Is yes, he's going to play games, but he's not. He's played 30. He's played 40 games at Bournemouth. Is he going to play 40 games at City? He might have to play 25. Because I think the big games and the European games are going to be Laporte and another, whoever that is. Now,
it could be Ake left back, Laporte centre back, Koulibaly or Jimenez right centre back, and then Walker right back. It could be right. We've seen Pep do that before with Laporte on the left against Liverpool 2 years ago. So we just never know. The man is a genius. Give him the latitude to pick who he wants to pick. And let's see what magic he creates. If Fabian Delph can play left back and win us a title, how much more Nathan Ake? That's my position.
There you go. Well, Andy is on. Thank you, Shedders. So there, Andy is on, and so is Kiam. Good evening, Rogues Gallery. Cheeky devil. You're getting cheeky of these people from Canada. So that's Ake then. I think generally we're all happy with Ake.
Canada, the noisy neighbours.
Yeah, well, it is for you. I think we're all happy with Ake. I think if there's any negative for it, it's the price. Some are happy, some are not. But as I said, this is not our money. We're not going out. It's not coming out that money.
I think it was to do, like you said in the week, the 40 million buyout clause for Chelsea was the key. Because if we'd have gone in with 39, they'd go in at 40, it was going to Chelsea. And Chelsea were sniffing.
It's one of the only deals I've ever heard of a £1 million add-on.
Yeah.
It's a very funny figure to have an add-on, so that just makes me think, have Chelsea got a £40 million release to match, and we've gone 41 to stop that?
Correct.
You know, that must be the only way around it.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the next signing, Ferran Torres. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I first heard us get linked, I thought I heard this on the 9320 podcast. And I must admit, I did think the same at the time. When I very first heard of him, I thought, is this a CFA signing to come in and go out on loan? And then when I've watched him and everything else and I've read about him, I've thought, this is some player. And if you listen to all the pundits in Spain, they are absolutely raving about this kid. Absolutely raving. I think he's the youngest kid, 20-year-old, to play 50 league games or 50 professional games for Valencia. So that tells you a lot. Chris, Ferran Torres, what do you think?
Well, he's only 20, mate. He's potential rather than bringing a superstar signing. I think you've got to give him a bit of time to adjust to the English conditions. He looks. What I've seen of him, he looks like he's got a lot of natural ability. But yeah, we'll see with him, because we've seen players come and go, mate, who struggle in the Premier League. So we'll see. But I think for 20 million, you can't really knock it.
No, I mean, have you seen him play, or are you like most of us? You watch YouTube.
Yeah. Same, mate.
Alan,
And like I
I've seen him
said,
play
like I said
I've seen
before.
him play one game.
go on, Chris. Finish off, mate. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, Samaras looked great on YouTube, didn't he? So
I was trying to forget that.
There's been a few.
Hey, I'll tell you what we will do one time in this summer. We might do a vlog where we talk about the worst Manchester City 11 ever.
Oh, there'll be a lot there.
That
About
might
10 teams.
That might be an interesting one.
I saw one in the flesh when I came to the Etihad. I was disgusted.
Who?
Name begins with a B, ends with a Y, has an O.
yeah, he didn't fit in.
No. Bony.
Oh, trust me, Carl, we've seen a lot worse, mate. Oh, trust me, we've seen a lot worse, mate. Until you've seen like
Jerry Craney.
Lee Peacock and Chris Green and all them, mate, Barry Conlon, then you'll realise, yeah, you were lucky, mate.
I was lucky.
Anyway,
Lucky.
Alan, Ferran Torres.
I've seen one game on BN Sports from over here. He's very, very direct, which in my eyes is good, because we don't have too many players that play that kind of way in our team. We have these passing type players. He's very quick, very direct. He is right-footed. So the only query I've got is that we're now overloaded with right-footers, and doesn't offer us a lot of balance, because Sterling's right-footed. Mahrez is the only one that's got a left foot, and he plays on the right side. Bernardo Silva's right-footed. Now Torres is going to be right-footed. He doesn't offer us a lot of balance, which is my only criticism. But if he plays on the left-hand side, which I think Pep, that's what he likes, because he likes the inverted wingers, we'll have to see how he goes on. See if he can adapt to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking of inverted wingers. The next person I'm going to come to loves an inverted winger by Pep Guardiola. Come on, Carl. Talk about inverted wingers, mate.
No, I won't start. But to Chris and Alan's point, they're really good points. He's direct. So I went back and looked at. So whenever we're in for a play, I do this thing. I go back and look at any games they played against a Champions League opposition or against an English team. I watched him against Valencia in the Champions League, and I watched his games against Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, and Atalanta, where he scored the goal. This kid is good. For £20 million, this kid is good. He has room to grow. Direct, aggressive, not afraid to take on a player. My friend who runs on the right and cuts in on the left, right? That inverted, my friend.
Mahrez.
Right, you said the name, not me, right? It's not like that. This guy will take you one-on-one. Now, if you kick him, he gets up and he keeps going. He's a really good prospect. I'm looking forward to it.
The thing I've heard about him, that there wasn't this much hype about Sane coming out of Germany, what there is about this kid coming out of Spain. They really do love him. And he came with David Silva's recommendation. And anyone who comes with the Merlin's recommendation for me should be good. I just don't want us to do what we've now done in the last few years, where we bash them very early. If we don't come out the block straight away, because we've seen Fernandinho took a year, Bernardo took a year, Sterling took a year, Mahrez has improved after the year. You've got Rodri, who's not had the greatest year, but he's had an okay first year. I think we've just got to be careful with him.
Great.
And the only thing that worries me is, where does that leave Foden? Where does this leave Gabi Jesus? Where does this leave a Bernardo, a Mahrez? Where does it leave these people? Because from what I'm seeing, these wings are starting to look very, very busy with players. And there's only going to be one playing. And I know we're going to play 60-odd games, but is there someone possibly leaving that we don't know about here? Is there someone possibly leaving out this door we do not know about? Now, Alan's shaking his head because he might have heard the same rumour I've heard, and it isn't Mahrez. I've heard Bernardo Silva.
That's what I heard.
Not overly happy at the moment. Now, these are only rumours.
Yeah, but then isn't here? I mean, Sané leaves, Leroy Sané leaves, right? And then Ferran Torres comes in. It's not like for like, but it's a close comparison between the two. They have to fight. They have to fight. They have to fight for the spots. If they're not happy, Pep will, him. If they're not happy, well, there's the door, like Sané. So
I personally think that Bernardo, if he stays, he'll play more inside this year. With Foden, will play the same. Foden won't play every game. He'll play a lot of the games, but there'll be times when Bernardo will move inside and play. Don't forget when David Silva first arrived at City, for the first 2 years he played outside right, and he did. And then City moved him in. And Bernardo can do that. He's good enough to do it without any shadow of doubt. What I've heard, his attitude's not been great in the last 3 months. He's been sulking a little bit. Hence the cup of coffee in the line when Liverpool came out.
Sorry, you just went a little bit echoey there, Alan. Ruben Toblonny says, I think it's important to point out that Pep chops and changes all the time. Frustrating to try and pick his teams. Everyone that plays in for him knows this and will also know they will need to improve big time, which is a great point. Theo Train on the Bernardo issue says Bernardo has gone backwards a little bit. That's my worry for Bernardo. Out of the 3 years he's been here, he's had one good season, which was last season. But I'd like to see him. The best I've seen him play, Bernardo, was in that deeper midfield role.
Yeah.
Where he could.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, we're coming back to the KDB. We're coming back to the Mahrez problem. We're coming back to the same problem we've got. And there's rumours we're going after this guy at AC Milan, this Benica.
Yeah.
So, where's everyone going? Chris, can you tell me where everyone's going, mate? I'm
I've got Starbucks in Oldham.
Mate, I'm Michael.
It's Chris River. Earth to Chris.
Mate,
hello.
my stream keeps. Hello, mate. My thing
Hello.
keeps cutting out, mate. So I'm only hearing half what he's saying. I think we might lose Mahrez or Bernardo, and I think we can afford to lose one of them. I know which one I'd prefer.
No, Mahrez stays.
No. Right. Okay. So let's just go into some of your comments and then we'll move on to the Koulibaly issue. Oh, it's fun. Kiam says, Mahrez signing killed Bernardo. Such a shame, as I think Bernardo is better. We all know about that. Ruben Toblonde agrees with me. Don't have to agree with me. Frosty Nut says prefer to keep Mahrez, so he disagrees with you, Chris.
I never said any name.
You said you know which one you'd rather get rid of.
Oh no. We all know what's going to happen now, don't we?
Bernardo is an inverted winger. Not so sure. Let's move on to this. The Theo Tram. Perfect walking. Koulibaly's 29. The best years are behind him. Now, apparently, Napoli have signed a striker today. I will not try and pronounce his name, so I'm no good at names.
I can do that.
Go on, Kat.
Victor Osimhen.
There you go. A forward. And apparently they need to get the money in because it looks like they're not going to get into the Champions League. Now, there was rumours that Koulibaly was going to be in the region of 75 million euros. And City were going to sort of negotiate very close to that, but not quite pay that. There's rumours tonight it's now going up to 90 million euros to get Koulibaly out. Now, Alan, you've got your hand up. Where are we at? What do you think? Too much money?
No, I think the owner's playing games, and when someone plays games, you attempt to walk away, and to see how he reacts. This will be the agent and their owner trying as much as they possibly can to lift his feet. Hence, the agent gets more commission, the club gets more money. You attempt to walk away, start looking at other people, because we did this with Maguire last year, and the same thing happened. If you remember, he kept lifting the price by 5-10 million every week, and I don't think we should be looking at him. I think we should be looking at somebody else. I know who I would look at, but it will cost more.
Well, who then? Tell us.
Jose Gimenez from
100%. 100%.
I think he's a leader for one, and two, he's a better player, and he's only 25.
100%. Agree.
It'll cost more, but he'll be with us for 7 or 8 years.
Go on, Kel.
I completely agree with Alan. So I saw the statement from Napoli president, and I saw Koulibaly's own statement, and I said, duck him. You know what I mean by duck him, right?
Totally agree.
Completely duck him. It's absolute BS, right? We don't need this nonsense. After what happened with Jorginho last year, kick him off. Jose Jimenez has played defense against Liverpool, against Barcelona, against Real Madrid, and he plays well. And he's young, he's talented, and he's a winner. He's won Europa League, he's won titles. 25 Uruguayan, sell whoever we need to sell to get the net spend down and buy this kid. And he has a release clause. There's no argument, there's no back and forth. Pay the release clause and walk. Go get him.
Yeah.
And he's 25. 25 years old.
120 million now.
Over 10 years?
Would City pay that?
Well,
don't forget we're going to sell Stones and Otamendi. That'll drag it down to about 80, probably 70 million.
Yeah, but City negotiate low for everyone at the beginning.
They'll start that. But when someone's changing the goalpost in you at Napoli is, walk away.
Yep.
Because if they do want to sell him to City, they'll come back to the table.
Yep.
You have to play that game. You have to be prepared to walk away.
I agree. I understand what you're saying, and I fully agree. But 120 million, in my honest opinion, City will not go near that. And that's his release clause. And apparently, that's the only way that they'll sell him, is that the release clause is paid.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris, what do you think?
I think that I just think that with Koulibaly, if Napoli are messing us about, then just drop out of it. And I think they want the money. So if we just come out of it, they'll come back to us, I'm sure. But we should not be paying anything more. Well, if they put an asking price on him last week of whatever it was, 70 million, then that's the asking price. And don't play games with them. Sod them off, mate. If they can't act like decent human beings, then, off you go. I don't know much more about this Jimenez, if I'm honest with you, so I won't make any comments about him. But we certainly need a defender. My only problem with getting another 25-year-old defender is that we need a leader, and we haven't got a leader. I think Koulibaly is a leader, and at a right age. I remember hearing before that you want somebody of that sort of 28, 29 sort of years with somebody who's sort of 24, 25. And then when they finish their career, the 24, 25-year-old becomes a 29-year-old. And hopefully Howard Bellis or something. Yeah. You want that sort of rotation thing. But in football, nothing's ever that simple, is it? So that's just probably a pipe dream.
I also think we may have another problem in that there's very strong rumours that young Garcia is going to go to Barcelona. I think a lot relies on Pep signing a contract. And he's the most important signing of the lot, is that Pep stays at Man City. And if he signs a longer-term deal, I think you'll see Garcia staying. But if he's only going to sign a one-year deal, Garcia's going to go. I'll tell you straight now, and go home.
Well,
if that's the case, we need two right-footed centre halves. Two, not one, two.
The thing about Garcia, though, is while he's good technically, I think he was stretched the past couple of games. I think in the really big games, like the Real Madrid game or maybe Barcelona or Bayern Munich coming up, is he really going to hold his own against Messi, against Karim Benzema? I mean, the academy kid at 19. I'd rather put Nathan Ake there if I could, right? So
he's a left footer though. Nathan Ake is a left footer.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You can't play Laporte and Ake together.
No, you can't. I don't think. Well, you could, but it's not. This is not his natural position. He's a left-sided defender.
Right. So I'm just not convinced with. I'm not just convinced with Garcia. It's just hard. I just not in England. Maybe in Barcelona, maybe, but not in England. For me,
I just personally wouldn't like to see him go out on a free. I wouldn't like that to happen with the kid. The trouble is, the reports are now saying his heart is set on going back to Catalonia.
Yeah, I've heard
so, and it's that Andy's said a long time. When these kids are not from Manchester and they're from, their home in Madrid, very much like Brahim Diaz. Now, for me, Brahim Diaz was not good enough anyway. But where enough the Real Madrid move came from, that was never going to work. It was never going to work. But he followed his heart and he went to Madrid and he sat on the bench and got splinters and now he's going back out on loan. And I think Garcia might end up having the same problem.
100%, probably. You think Garcia's going to play first team Barcelona football?
They're saying it.
Yes, they are.
Real Madrid said it to Garcia.
But Barcelona were saying they want him in the first team.
Okay.
Sorry, so it's a difficult one because I don't think Pep and the people at the top of City want to let him go, but Pep's got to get his signature on that piece of paper.
Well,
for him to stay. Simple.
There's a lot of people saying about this Diego Carlos from Seville.
Looking at him, aren't they?
He's mentioned it. Alex Lowe has mentioned Diego Carlos. Manchester for life. Manchester City for life. So Diego Carlos will be the best buy, guys. But just to say, Uwe Rosler, hello, the City legend. We know it's not really you. That's for Jose Jimenez at Atletico Madrid, mate, £120 million. But apparently it's Diego Carlos, Seville. City were very interested in. And reports today are saying that City did make an approach with Diego Carlos, but it was going to be one of the most complicated deals they'd ever looked at. So they had to walk away. This is the problem with Spanish and Italian teams. They're not simple deals. And if you notice abroad, they all stick these high-end release clauses. Mm-hmm. And the trouble is, they will not let him go for much less than them. Mm-hmm. If you look at Laporte, we had this problem the first time we went after him. He didn't want to leave because he had this high release. Then we went back and we had to end up paying the release clause. Rodri, we had to go and play the release clause. I think they're very, very clever abroad. When they stick these in, you watch Barcelona might sign Eric Garcia. The first thing they'll do in his contract is stick an £80 million, £90 million release clause in, so no one touches him. They're very, very clever at doing it, and that's the problem. This is why I'm saying City are going to act up now and go, we're going to buy someone top, because we're not talking an Nathan Ake anymore. We're talking a top centre-back. And top centre-backs cost you money.
Sure.
Yep.
That's what we're going to do. Chris, have you got any thoughts on who you think we should bring in?
No.
The only alternative, Martin.
Go on.
Martin, the other alternative is maybe look at Ruben Diaz. If he's asking 90 million for Koulibaly, maybe Ruben Diaz might be a good option to look at. He's a captain as well.
Yeah, someone mentioned Skriniar. I'm trying to think. He has Jamie Sharp. 50 million for Skriniar. Is that better? I don't think you're getting Skriniar out into Milan for 50 million.
No
chance. You get 100 million. It's 100 million.
Yeah, you're not getting it out. Someone said delay. Juventus aren't going to let him go for cheap. This is the problem. We can throw all these names all day long.
It's 100 million. It's 100 million minimum.
Yeah. The thing about Koulibaly too is that does he really want to go? look at all these statements in the press.
It doesn't.
Right? All these statements in the press doesn't seem to be like either he's not serious, he lacks ambition, right? Lacks awareness, or just doesn't understand what he's talking about. Because all these statements seem to be, I'm staying, I'm happy, I'm staying. I don't care about Champions League. I don't care about playing outside of Europe. I'm annoyed with all the news in the press about me leaving. These are quotes, direct quotes from him, quoted in papers. So if he's not interested, we don't need him. Now, if he changes around and we can get him for 70 million, 65 million, okay, let's talk. But not for 90 million. Not for 90 million.
Not for a 29-year-old, no.
I'm going to be honest. I'd probably pay it. I'd probably pay the 8. I'd probably pay
but your heart's been set on it for weeks, Martin. We know it has.
No, for the simple fact is, for anyone of that quality, you're going to have to pay it.
I agree on that point, but the problem is they're changing the goalposts every 5 minutes, Martin. You can't allow that to happen.
Every club will.
And Martin, you know that I've loved Koulibaly for 2 years, right? Yeah. We talked about this, right? But once ADL, which is the Napoli president, starts jerking us around and starts just like Jorginho 2 years ago, we can't deal with that. It's disrespect. You agree a deal, okay, you tag 5 million on, or you talk about bonus payments or whatever it is, fine. But don't say 70 million today and then 90, a week after.
And then next week it's 100 million.
This is Mickey Mouse, this is not Mickey Mouse. This is business.
Well, just on the Garcia, Noah Pearce has made a good point. Quite like Garcia, but he will ruin his career if he goes, I think. And then there was somebody else. I think Chris brought this up earlier very sneakily, but didn't tell me. Jonathan Tah would be a great for us, according to Ming Wong. Now, I've not seen Jonathan Tah, but Jonathan Tah and Upamecano are, for me, in the Nathan Ake bracket. They're not your top quality, top centre backs. So to get an Upamecano and to get a Jonathan Tah, I think you've done that with Nathan Ake now. I think they're done. But I think we're talking a little bit bigger and better than that. I think you are talking a Skriniar, a Ruben Diaz, and some people don't like Ruben Diaz. Trust me now, I've had people there tell me I'm wrong. This is a great shout by Cola, by the way, Cola Noah. But Lenglet from Barca exchange it for Garcia. Now that
oh yeah.
It's never happening. But
it's never happening. No chance. Not a chance. There's no way that'll happen.
Has Chris frozen? Or is that me?
He keeps cutting out. He sent me a text before. He keeps cutting out.
Yeah, I do apologise.
Yeah, I'm missing about, I think, mate.
At the moment. We'll get to the end of part 1 and we'll try and reload and we'll come back and see if we can get Chris up and running again, guys. Right, so that's the defence then. We've had our little discussion on that. Kiam's just going to throw in this in. Prediction, I could be better.
I'll just sit here and drink, Mark.
Prediction of Kiam. Ake will be better than Koulibaly, Diaz, Skriniar. Just wait and see. Wow, that is a big statement from Kiam. Ake will be better than Koulibaly, Diaz, and Skriniar.
The trouble is, he's not right-footed.
Yeah, well, here's Uwe Rosler's point. Lenglet is left-footed as well. So we're just bringing in a team of left-footers.
Yeah, and a lot of right wingers as well.
Well, if you think about it, in the Centurion season, our whole left side was all left-footed, right? Sane, David Silva.
Balance,
right? Yeah, it's perfect team. That was a jeez.
Right. Well, we've talked about the defence. Is there anywhere else you want to look at? We've obviously now done this sign replacement. Do we need a midfielder? Let's go around the table. Alan, let's start with you. Midfield. Do we need one? Is this link with Benessa at AC Milan? Would you go for it?
Not sure.
I wouldn't do it.
I'm not sure. I think we've got enough in midfield, I'll be honest with you. I think the priorities at the moment, as we know, with centre-halves and a left full-back. I think Ake covers left full-back as well as centre-half on the left side. We need another centre-half in there. Central midfield, the only thing we could maybe look at would be defensive midfield as a cover for Rodri. The rest of them, I think we've got plenty, because Bernardo can play midfield if we need to in central midfield and do really well, in my opinion. And obviously got Gundogan as well, which Pep loves, as we know he does.
And under.
Yeah, and in Europe he looks really. He plays better in Europe than he does in the Premier League. I think we need to save. I think we need to save our money for the year after to spend on an out-and-out striker or someone up front, and that's going to cost us north of 100 million.
Well, this Bennett apparently is a box-to-box midfielder. Chris, come to you 1 minute, Cal.
Sure.
Chris, I'm just while I've got him moving, I want to see if I can get him at the same time.
Yeah.
Chris,
Well,
do we need a
listen-
midfielder, mate?
No, if we get Sane going and Torres coming in, David going and Foden taking his role, then I'm happy. I think if we got another midfielder in, it's just going to cause trouble because there's not enough spaces for them. And we needed a striker. I'm with Alan. Save the money or buy a striker. That's where we're really short. When Aguero's out, and Aguero will pick an injury up next season, he does every season. We get Gabby in, and Gabby is not producing the numbers that Sergio does as a goal getter. He obviously has other areas of his game which are very strong, but I would certainly be looking for a striker over a midfielder. In fact, I think we could stand to lose a midfielder.
I don't think we'll sign a striker this year. I think it'll be the summer.
That's gone. What about the links with Aouar and Havertz?
No, Havertz is done.
Havertz. I'd love him. I would love him.
Havertz is going to Chelsea. He's going to
gone.
Chelsea.
I know he is.
He's gone.
I would love him now.
Yeah.
I would love him now. But Eye on the Beach does say the midfield is sorted. So, Cal, what do you think?
We keep forgetting one person that could play in our midfield that we actually have a buyback clause on in defensive midfield. Douglas Luiz, who's now played and now has the right work permit. Bring him back, buddy. Kid is good. People focus on Grealish in that Aston Villa team. You know, the England player, the star. If you really look closely, Douglas Luiz's role in that defensive midfield was key to get them to stay up. I would bring him back.
Well, Manchester City for life agrees with you.
There we go. Yeah.
Maybe look at the buyback of Douglas Luiz.
Yeah. 25 million.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on him. I will. Someone made a point about. I can't remember. It was earlier about Tommy Doyle. Could you not have Tommy Doyle giving a go there? Here it is, Jamie Sharp, Tommy Doyle. So
Good.
That's what worries me. Do you buy back a Douglas Luiz at the detriment of your youngsters? But the trouble is, on the other side, does Pep really give youngsters a go? So,
He's under too much pressure to win trophies, mate, for that.
Yeah.
Well, Pardo says Luis is not the top quality player we need.
But we're talking about the backup, not the number one spot, right? Rodri already has that spot.
Well, Ryan Connor says Luis has only come good since lockdown. His English has got a lot better since. I don't know what that's going to do now, from Ryan Connor's point of view.
How's Ryan's Portuguese? Probably shit, right?
But here's a good point. Oh, no, hang on. Andy Milne says Angelino buyback didn't work. Great point, Matt. That is a great point. The Angelino buyback didn't work. And he was tearing trees up from when he was at PSV.
Because we played him as a fullback, not as a left wing back.
So, well, he was playing wing back, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I had a soft spot for Angelino. And I always have. I don't know why. I just liked him.
You like anyone that comes through the ranks, that's why, Martin. You like all the youngsters that come in.
Yeah, I'm a proper old school blue that loves a youngster coming through. Douglas Luiz, not for me anyway. I'll tell you, Douglas Luiz is put the cat amongst the pigeons here a little bit, Carl. Some are agreeing, some are not. Which is what we want here on the channel. Yeah, we want good debates. Chris, let me get you. Douglas Luiz, bring him back or not?
Yeah. For who?
Well, I'm speaking. Well, I'm the Aston Villa fan. You're the Aston Villa season.
Listen. I think that if we got rid of Gundogan, I'd bring him back.
Yeah.
So you'd bring him back to Gundogan?
I'd happily see Gundogan go. Too slow.
Yeah.
Too slow.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Kiam's got a point on Angelino. Angelino buyback did work. We'll make a great profit on him. That was always the purpose.
He's right. It's a business.
Galaxy Apart says Fernandinho could play as box-to-box midfielder, but he's too old now. He is, unfortunately. OG, this is what I did want to bring this up. OG the baby says Thiago Almeida looks like he's heading to Leeds. Apparently that deal is not going ahead. They were interested in him and it's not happening because he wants to stay in Argentina. Give Chris another Moretti. That's why he was holding up his beer there. Thanks, Leonard. Don't give him an encouragement to swig anymore. Sean said,
how about our day?
From what I've heard, he's been mowing the lawn all day. Douglas Luiz better than Grealish. Now that's according to Sean Fogarty.
I don't want Grealish.
Is the arcade?
We don't need him.
The deals are nearly done, Joe Smith. They are nearly done. Let me just last few comments and we'll move on to forwards. Rodri isn't much faster than Gundogan. I'd let them race and whoever lose goes. I love Kiam has all these amazing little ideas, don't you? I've come to the conclusion.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
I think Kiam should be the scout.
I love City fans, man. It's just
incredible.
incredible.
Could you imagine Kiam on these scouting missions? You know, he'd have him doing really silly things to make sure he was good enough.
Boy.
Right. Let's have a look then. Right, let's move on to the forwards then. Now, from what I've heard, now again, this is going off Sam Lee and other reporters, that City are not after an up and up striker. An up and up, out and out, up and up striker. What's an up and up striker? An out and out striker. I've been in Tenerife too long. An out and out.
Hang on, while we're on that subject, is there any reason that you're perched on the top left hand side next to Carl? Are you trying to see that you've got a better tan than Carl? Because you haven't, mate. You know, you're nice and brown, but Carl has got a brilliant tan. You know, and he's all natural, unlike yours.
He's trying. He's trying.
No, because what it is I put the good-looking ones on this side of the
screen. All right,
okay. That's what you do, you see. So me and Carl are on the right side.
Well said, Chris.
Right. Apparently, City are not after an out-and-out striker. They're after a guy who can play the false nine role. As we know, Pep loves this false nine role. Go back to Barcelona. He loves the false nine. He doesn't want an out-and-out striker.
Martin, this is what I've been saying for weeks and months, that we want a number nine, traditional number nine, big, strong in the air, powerful. Guardiola's best teams, Barcelona, he didn't have. He had Pedro, Villa, and Messi. That's what he plays. So this Gabriel Jesus type is kind of what he likes. So unless something change. Now, I buy him in again, Lewandowski, right? But he couldn't get rid of him, couldn't sell him because the buying hierarchy won't allow that. But here, given a choice, what's he going to do? I want an outright striker. I think it's good to have options like Eddie Dzeko who can head, Haaland who's quick and fast and strong. But this is what he likes, right?
Yep. Well, here's the question. Who is your false nine striker then? Oh, can you see all the faces go now? They weren't waiting for that one. They're like, oh, hang on, come back to me. Right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, who wants to go first? Anyone want to put their hand up?
I like Haaland. I think we should go next year for Haaland.
That's the only false nine guy you can think of, isn't it?
Yeah. Haaland's the only one I'd like, and he's big, strong,
Strong.
and even if the ball got pushed out wide, when teams sit defend against us deep, you can whack it in there in the box, and he's going to win all the headers, isn't he? He's going to win everything in the air.
He's
So,
big, strong,
so he can play with his feet. You know, he's fucking old Niall Quinn, isn't he? Quinilio, eh?
Does he wear disco pants?
He wears disco pants, don't worry. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, Martin. Right? So this season could be Sergio's last season, and it could be Pep's last season. So whoever's the incoming manager is going to be left with Gabby.
The poor sod.
Well, no, I'm not saying. What I'm telling you is that some managers like to have 3 or 4 strikers. So does that mean next transfer window, we're looking at strikers, and we know how much they cost?
Yeah,
But we were meant to be spending 300 million.
And how much did he spend?
Once you've took out the Ake, the Torres, and a defender, you're only about 150 million.
We got the Sane money.
No,
True.
that's what I mean. So where's the other 150 million going to be spent? If we believe the reports and we spend this 300 million, where's the other 150 million?
We have all learnt over the last couple of weeks not to trust the press, haven't we?
Yes. But, all right, let's play fantasy football. 150
No,
million
let's not.
spent. Are we going to go knock over in Paris?
Oof.
I'd love to. He's the one that he would absolutely die to get hold of. You can get hold of him. Oh,
Everyone's in the comments now. Martin, stop living in dreamland. Not a chance in that. Get on with yourself. I'm allowed to dream. I'm a City fan. Come on.
But Martin, is Mbappe a real false nine, or is he a right or left winger?
He's more of a right-sided player.
Right.
Well, Zagon says, I think Haaland's interviews are hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
That's my only issue with Haaland. Because City, if you remember, look at profiles. They don't look at how good a player is. It's the profile. And does Haaland fit a profile?
Well,
What's that meant to mean?
If you're gonna say that, what about look at Mendy? My God.
Yeah, no, let me explain profile.
Or Carlos Tevez.
What City tend to do, now again, this is just things I've heard. They don't just go, who's the best striker in the world, we'll go and get him. They've got to have a certain way they live. They've got to have a certain personality to go with them. They've got to have a certain, it's all, can they shoot from, it's really silly, it was this list that I saw on Twitter, and it was, can they have
Who's wrote this list? Who's wrote this list? Come on, it's Twitter, for God's sake.
No, this was off Sam Lee. It's on the 9320 podcast. I've been listening to it all day. Now I'm in quarantine. It's all I'm listening to is podcasts. Because I've got nothing to do now but listen to podcasts.
As long as you don't ring me in the middle of the night, I don't care.
Well, I used to, but I got bored of waking you up. But anyway, and they've got to have a profile, so they've got to be willing to come in. Like you said with Mendy, how Mendy fitted a profile, I don't know.
He's mad. The guy's mad.
He doesn't just want his defenders to defend. He wants them to play the ball out from the back. He wants them to be able to go and bring the ball out from play, to start attacks, that sort of thing. So when we see a striker, he's not just looking at someone who scores 30 goals a season and that's it. Because if you look at Aguero at the very beginning when he came in, him and Aguero clashed like anything. Yeah. Because Aguero used to score a bag full of goals, but his work rate was crap. And then what did Aguero improve on in the first 2 years?
His work rate.
Work rate. So that's what I mean by a profile. It isn't just a striker scores me goals. He's got to come back and win the ball, start the play off again into midfield, and then he runs off back into the box. These are the sort of profiles I mean. And I think the way Haaland is might not fit his profile.
You that about Harry Kane as well. Harry Kane's the same type of player. If Harry Kane came on the market.
Cavani. Wow. Could that be one? Well, here's a good one by Shadow. Would you not take Aubameyang?
Yeah. I would, but I don't think I'd go for he's too old now.
Yeah, it's too old. Harry.
Dybala. I've got them all in. Dybala.
Oh, he's good.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I do like the Dybala.
Yeah. What about Prince Harry?
Harry Kane.
Mm-hmm.
It's dealing with Daniel Levy again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The latest one by TTV Dino Alf. What a great name. Everyone's for sale at the right price. I'd go all out for Felix and Mbappe.
FFP.
That's the rumour I heard.
FFP.
They want Felix.
I think UEFA Never's back in court in about 5 minutes if you got those two. Very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
I mean, okay then, let's finish on this because we're going to wait. We could go on forever here and I want to get done before an hour. Because part 2, we're going to talk all about the Newcastle failed takeover and how that relates to City. We're Manchester City, the last ever team to get a seat at the top table. That's what we'll talk about in part 2. But just finishing part 1, you had to put a number on how many signings we're going to bring in. We'll go round the table. Chris, how many signings are we going to bring in total this summer?
4.
4. Alan, any raise on 4?
No, 4.
Carl?
I think 3. 3.
Right.
Yeah.
I said 6.
Are you serious? Why 6?
Because, all right, well, let me explain.
So what on the court case?
2 centre-backs. Then you'll get a midfielder. Ferran Torres. I think you'll buy a false 9. I think you'll buy a backup goalkeeper for the homegrown quota.
So who goes out? Who goes out? If you bring 6 in.
Otamendi, Stones. I've got a sneaky suspicion Bernardo might be on the chopping board. Garcia, I think, will go. And obviously Claudio Bravo's going. Scott Carson's going. So that's why I think you're going to need a goalkeeper.
We already have a goalkeeper.
Have we not got that lad, that American lad?
Yeah, you've got 2, but you need 3.
Yeah.
You've all forgotten about the homegrown quota. That's why Scott Carson was brought in. Scott Carson was brought in for the homegrown quota.
Yeah.
And apparently his deal ended today and he went back to Derby. And Claudio Bravo's out of contract, so you're losing 2 goalkeepers. I never said they had to be big signings. And Muric.
You could also put Richard Wright back in. You could put Richard Wright back in. He's been there forever.
Muric is going to Rotherham, apparently. Muric is on his way to Rotherham. Right, so are you the 6, Martin? I wish I was, mate. I wish I was. Right, let's end it there. What we're going to do is thank you to all your comments. There is nearly over 90 people on. Please hit the like button. We've talked, it's been a bit of a chat down the pub with your mates, chat about transfers, because there's one thing I can guarantee you this summer. City are going to be busy boys. There's going to be a few in, there'll be a few out. I think this team right now is going to look very, very different come the start of September when we kick off the 2021 Premier League season. But join us for part 2 where we're going to talk about the failed takeover at Newcastle United. And you're thinking, how does that relate to City? But really, we're City, the last ever team to be allowed in the top table of the Premier League. Is it now closed to everybody else going? We'll have to have a chat about that in part 2. Give us a roundabout, it's now 11 o'clock. Give us till 11:15. We'll be back. We're going to get sure Chris's Wi-Fi sorted out. Gives him 10-15 minutes. Going to go and have a little chill. Come back and join us in 15 minutes for part 2. And then part 3, we'll talk about the Real Madrid preview coming up next week. Yeah, forgetting what day we're on now. Yeah. So, guys, thank you very much to Chris, to Alan, to Carl. This is Martin here, the Man City Man TV. Thank you for everyone in the comments. Come and join us at 11:15, where we're going to carry on our Friday night social. Going to be a good one. Take care all. I'm going to make sure I've got everything up and ready. I told you I'm not very good at this anymore. This is all brand new to that.
No, you did well. You did well.
Guys, take care. Come and join us at 11:15.